I'd like to call the January 23rd, 2024 work session to order. And kind of going over the main agenda. Approval of the agenda, you have that? Any issues? Approval of the minutes from January 9th, regular session and work session. Any questions? We have a proclamation for those who remember Miss Goody, who had passed away recently, longtime volunteer. Hopefully her family will be here tonight, and we'll give her some recognition, or them some recognition in the presentation. We have a public hearing for the adoption of the new official zoning map. You want to at least go over what we have? Are we going to do the public hearing in the work session, or are you going to do the public hearing in the main session?
Yes, work session.
Fair enough.
This is on the agenda. So there's another one. And this will cover, I think, number 7 as well with the, if she's going to present for D.
Hello, Miss Mark.
I would have spoken sooner, but somebody was oak garden the name. This is looking to approve new official zoning map. The official zoning map, as you probably know from material you were given, is one copy that's kept in city manager's office, although his designee is me. And this is visual aid. This is the official zoning map at this time. And every time, essentially, you've approved it already because everything here, the notations made have been approved by the mayor and council, such as the subdivision of property for the fire station number 2. I penciled it in, and on this map, it becomes part of the official zoning map. It's just kind of a copy, putting all of the changes, subdivisions, conditional uses, zoning changes, and those type of actions to amend the map. So, and you saw that the planning and zoning board, they had lots of questions about it and recommend approval.
Excellent.
Any
Questions? Ms. Nice.
No question.
Ms. Wynn.
No questions.
Mr. Clark.
No questions.
Ms. E.
For the record, this is the fire station, Mount Zion.
Yeah, fire station number 2, yes, they subdivided the property, it became property of the city, and also after that, the remainder, the larger portion was changed to light manufacturing to allow for the current development.
And it's a public hearing. Any comments from the public? All right.
And I should mention, it's been since 2009.
Thank you, Ms. Moore. New business, approval of the city manager's recommendation to approve a 4% pay increase for performance as approved and adopted in the 2024 budget effective in February. Authorize the mayor to execute any related documents. Mr. Baker.
All right. On the letter, it talks that I put in the packet. This talks about the impact of the 4% raise is applied for the 5 remaining months of the 2024 fiscal year and the full entire 12-month span of the fiscal year 2025. There are some stipulations that are recommended on this, and they were bulleted out. I'll read over those real quick. The only current employees who have completed their 1-year probationary period are immediately eligible for the rate increase suggested by their department heads and approved by the city manager. An example of that would be if you've got 6 months in. Our full probationary period is a 12-month period, so you'd have 6 months to wait. Then you would get your evaluation, then you would get your raise. Current employees who have not completed their probationary period as of February 21, 2024 will be eligible for the increase on their anniversary date after the evaluation. We also have some part-time employees. I've excluded some of those part-time employees because we already took care of them with some of the raises that we approved for this fiscal year. Those would be court personnel, bailiffs, and looking at their pay rate, they're high or higher than most of the municipals and the counties around us what we pay them. So I've excluded them except for two of our people, one of which happens to be here, which would be our planning and zoning person, who is Marty is part-time, if you don't know, she's retired. We brought her back in, keep dragging her back in, so we keep her on here for, eligible for the 4%. Not saying she's gonna get it, but be eligible for it. And also for our human resources admin employee, which would be Miss Essie, who is also, should be eligible for this as well. All employees shall receive a complete evaluation. I think this is important. They need to do a self-evaluation. They'll be evaluated by their supervisor, approved evaluation by their department head, and looked over by the city manager as well. If we have a deficiency, because this is a pay for performance raise, there could be a case where someone gets 0%, do the 4%. So if they only get a 1 or 2% or a 0%, there needs to be an improvement plan included with this, because this is something we have a deficiency, it's been identified. The purpose of this is to help and reward employees, not to punish. So we want to make sure that we're looking at this from our perspective as far as pay for performance. And after full review and approved, if approved by the council, those raises should be effective on February 21st, or February 1st of 2024.
Questions? Ms. Knight?
No questions at this time.
Ms. Nguyen?
No question.
Mr. Quah?
No question, but I'm glad that we'll be able to.
I don't know if we're able to, we're going to do it someday.
Ms. Dean?
No questions.
And I think it's important, on the second page there, just to lay that out for you guys, the remaining impact for the last 5 years, the budget is, the remaining normal budget is 2.5 million with that included. That increase accounts for roughly about $101,000 of that. Then you've got the current fiscal allocation of 5.8, which we have for our payroll. That goes up next year. The encumbrance goes up to 6.1. The 4% impact of that increase for next year will be a total of about $250,000, $244,000. And then I also included another subject matter down there that I think is important. When the payroll goes up, it's important for the employees to know that there's also complementary increases elsewhere. Healthcare, their defined contributions, defined benefits, so those have an impact too. So it's an increase, there's a lot of increases for us to incur, like we were talking about. We're glad we can do it, but it's part of the overall compensation package. And we talked about that in our department head meeting to make sure that we're communicating that to employees and potential employees.
Excellent. Item number 2, approval of city manager's recommendation to approve Brewer Construction Group allocated funds of SPLOST 2021. I believe it's going to be for the community improvement to the Reynolds Road project. Mr. Baker.
Yes. Do we have that big? Can you pop that up for me? But lost that top so I can explain. This is one we got I closed those out on January 19th at 3 p.m. They've been posted for roughly 2 months. I got 2 bids. One of the bids is from a person who's already working, our company's already working on our boardwalk. I'll move through it. You can pull it up. The other one is from Brewer Construction. You see them listed there. The Brewer Construction Company is at 3.1 million. RM Construction is at 2.9. I'm recommending the Brewer Construction Group. If you look at the bid package, I think it kind of speaks for itself as far as how it is exemplifies what we're looking at. We're looking at the 13-month timeline period. One of the things that they offer to do was you're looking at a valuation or a value engineering, the VE that they're offering to do, which could be something to reduce the cost. And it's not a structural thing that you would cheat on, but if you're looking at a door, an interior door, does it need to be a steel frame or can we get away with a wooden frame to save some money? And that's how you value engineer that down, probably sometimes you can save up to $250,000 doing some of that. Not going cheap, but just making it where it's a little bit more economical. And if you look through his bid package, I included the audit path as well for the bids. You can see who was on there. I included the bid from RM Construction. On the bid that Brewer Construction Group did, the 13-month timeline is listed on the Gantt chart at the end of the bid. You also have the project estimates, which are broken down. And the reason you broke them down like that is because we put in different drawings for that. So you have an atrium drawing, you have there's an open office up on the top floor that they can lease out. There's also the VFW side, and there's also the precinct side. So you'll look and see that the atrium is a little bit more expensive. Like VFW is about $353, the atrium is $2.7 million. Little difference. Part of that is because $500,000 of that's gonna be for the ADA elevator, right off the bat. The mechanical portions, the elevator itself, the shaft, and the requirements for that. Also, that atrium part is about 25 feet it's built on. He's got this pulled up for me. So you see the atrium part there with the city logo, that's the atrium. It goes up as a second story. You can see the white roof line there. That is an entirely new construction. So they're coming in with new steel, new glass, new framing and everything else, as well as the components for doors and the other features. So the total cost on that, I don't like the fact that those are broken down on the corresponding pages. He's got price lines on those broken down as far as the trades, different masonry, stone, steel, plastics, doors, other things of that nature, all broken down for you for the total project and for each of those independent projects on there. So that is my recommendation, is that we go with Brewer Construction, who happens to be a veteran-owned and operated construction company.
Questions?
As an extra bonus.
Ms. Knight?
Currently, no question.
Ms. Wade?
No question.
Mr. Quah?
No question on that one.
Ms.
And it's,
Dean?
by the way, coming out of the spots 2021 budget, so that's important.
Ms. Dean?
I have one question, except I noticed that we have a nice tree line behind here.
Gonna block the shade of your garden, but don't worry, we'll plant that later.
That's covering up the yards, the neighborhood yards over there. Is that correct?
No.
Plant those later. That's not, that's what I did.
And it's got a completion time of?
13 months. And that is contingent upon, of course, whether, that's, we still have to do the demo. And right now, our public works staff is engaged in some other activities. So February, right after the 5th of February, we'll be starting on that and knocking those buildings down.
Yeah. Material-wise, are we good? Ordering, no.
He and I actually spoke to this gentleman to make sure that you need a feel for the relationship you have with somebody, and he seems to be upfront. He's done a lot of similar sized projects in other areas, Fayette County, Fairburn, Noonan, different areas in the south metro area. He wanted to know, once it's approved, he's already thinking ahead, so he's laying out his timeline as far as what his current obligations are and when he can start. I gave him a 30-day buffer till the end of February for the demo for us, should he get the bid. And then also, once we have the bid approved, then we can go ahead and start talking about ordering products and materials, because there's a lead time on those. So some of those may have a little bit longer lead time than the other.
Thank you.
Excellent. Item 3, approval of city manager's recommendation to approve, is that one still on there?
Sorry? The budget calendar for fiscal year 2025?
Well, no, that one's the amphitheater, because I think the
Item four.
amphitheater didn't have
It's
any
on by-
numbers in there, right?
I'm sorry.
You're talking about business item 3, yeah, here.
Oh, my bad. Business item 3, I moved to defer.
Okay.
I received 0 bids on that. We've reopened it, and I can't take a recommendation on any bids.
Item 4, approval of the budget calendar for 2025.
This is what we do. We're trying to compress this, make it as easy as we possibly can. The main thing we want to do is roll through the budget as accurately and as quickly as we possibly can, and do it the right way. So sitting down initially with the department heads, rolling over their budgets, what their expectations are, what we can do, and kind of forming that up and then meeting with you guys. The main thing with you all would be the meeting in March 23rd. As we do our public hearing like we normally do with that, we'll also talk and get the input from the council. It gives the department heads an opportunity to go over where they're at, where they're going to be, and where they're wanting to go with their budget. Part of that would be, this is a preliminary calendar, so if you guys have a conflict with that, please let us know. Most of those will not affect you. The only thing I'd ask you to be in consideration of is the June 11th and June 25th meetings, where the first one's a public hearing reading of the ordinance. The second one's where we got to vote, because we kind of have to have that done by the end of the year.
Questions? Ms. Knight?
No questions.
Ms. Wynn?
No question.
Mr. Quah? Ms. Dean?
June date?
Just the June, those are for the council meetings. Those June 11th and June 25th are the 2 council meetings in June. And if there are conflicts, just please send me an email. We'll work them out. And then I'll resend the calendar. But this is a living, breathing document, so we can make changes on it if we need to.
Thank you, sir. Approve the city manager's recommendation to approve the allocation expense of $185,000 for SPOS 2021 from the public safety for upgrades to Fire Station 1 bunkhouse rehab.
I gotta show you a little video before we jump into this one. This is the current state of the fire department. So this is the bunkhouse. Those are comfortable accommodations for our firemen and women. Those are the showers. Bathroom, vanities. Nice.
You thought y'all had better than the military?
Oh, really? Oh, no.
Well, at least you can sit down and shower. Oh, wait, that shower didn't work. So, here's our bathrooms. Keep in mind, these are shared by the male and female. Yeah, not too shabby. So, you know, take a little mosey through the facilities and we see that there's some things we have to ask ourselves, do we like our firemen or not? So literally been probably over 15 years that anything's been done to those. So this is a maintenance deal under the Georgia Public Works law. This is something that we're doing, moving forward, asking for an allocation of 185. This keeps us from having to do an architectural drawing and everything. We're not changing anything structurally. What we are going to do is take into consideration, and praise God Almighty that we have not been sued yet for anything where we're mixing the females and males in the bathrooms and the bedrooms and nothing else has happened that we would be doing. So anyway, moving forward with this, we give them separate quarters built off of where we currently have their existing partitions. That way they'd have a pocket door with semi-privacy. We'd have electrical things in there. They don't have any place to store their bedding because they're on a shift, so they have to take their bedding with them or put them in the locker. We'd recoat the floors. I've laid that all out into what we're doing. I think around 185, looking at the different trades and bidding it out with different trades, we should be able to do that for that amount. Hopefully we'll be able to save some. Tagging is 185 because I have concerns. We have other examples of that here in City Hall. This building was built in '73. So it's been a minute. Same pipes and everything in it. So we're afraid when we open up crack those walls back there to upgrade the showers, we may run into some plumbing issues and some piping issues, which may put us at that 185 number. So hopefully we'll keep it below that. I want to give a good buffer just in case. But we're going to update some of the alarm systems the way that they're doing now. It's a loud alarm that rattles them out of the bed. Not good for the psyche or the physiological being of the well-being of the firefighters. So if we can change that to a different kind of an alarm while we're doing this, it might surprise you too. I'm gonna tell on you, Chief. You guys got a fire system up there? Fire alarm, anything?
No.
So if they don't even know fire alarm or fire department, what are we doing? So we're gonna put that in up there as well. But I mean, there's a lot of things to upgrade. So we'll coat the floors. We're gonna get out as easy as we can, redo the vanity section, realign the partitions, and make a private female shower. And then private quarters for them so that they actually can, you know, function.
Questions?
Thank the Lord.
Ms. Miller?
No question.
Ms. Wynn?
No question.
Mr. Quah?
No question.
Ms. Dean?
Yeah, question, comment.
All right.
If we have to change anything else.
Well, and I think this is the easiest way to get, and then, you know, we put a little money into this now, so it helps in perpetuity. I mean, haven't touched it that long. Let's show our appreciation to the staff and make it at least a place where we can be proud of our.
So when they gonna start doing the construction?
Well, that's a good question, because I asked the chief, because if we can get this approved, we'd like to start now. We're on a tight time schedule, because I want to get it done as quickly as we can, and he's offered to go sleep in tents out in City Hall Park. So, no, they're gonna be in the training room down here with they're willing to move down there and make that sacrifice to get that fixed. So, it'll be close, it'll be right here in City Hall, and it won't impede anything else, so they've got room in there. That's right, the training room, yes, sir.
Excellent. Item 6, approval of city manager's recommendation to approve demolition, clearing, and grading of the property we own at 5854 Jonesboro Road by McLeroy, Inc. for $64,702 from the budget of the Public Works and Grounds, and authorize the mayor to execute any of the documents.
I can
Ms.
tell
Wynn?
you're not Scottish, so that's McElroy.
Nice.
But the, it's, We did the pricing for the one at Meadowbrook and before we took it down ourselves. This is gonna involve grading and some other things, so that one that we got a price on for over there was it was over $100,000. This one is a much more affordable. It takes care of the grading, it takes care of the trees, it takes care of the building, and all the utensils and everything else with the demolition and all involved. So, to me, this is one of the things, the consideration for this to look at. We have a lot of issues with that. We have some vagrants that are going into it. Most people don't know that there's a house located there. For those who don't know geographically, that's located right at the entrance to Clayton State University. We have some developments that we're trying to get interest in. By having that clear cut and graded, that's gonna help us get, I think, some movement on that property with the Clayton County Economic Development as well. Owning parcels of that, not that particular parcel that we have, but that and looking at some of the other opportunities over there that we have, we feel like that would make it easier for us to, A, maintain our property, mitigate our liabilities for any homeless and vandals that are coming in there, and get it clear cut so we can sell a little easier.
Questions? Ms. Knight?
No question.
No
Ms. Wynn?
No question.
Mr. Qua?
No question.
Ms. Stevens?
We spoke about the materials of the building. Is that all clear?
The materials?
Yeah. As far as.
Asbestos.
Oh, we'll see, they're gonna do asbestos mitigation. There's rumors that there might be some there, so. There's always rumors there's gonna be asbestos.
1970s, not 1940s.
Well, some of the switches.
So once we knock it down, when would you anticipate starting some construction on this?
Well, you know, I think this helps us do it. I can't give you an exact date on that.
Gotta push, right?
I do have, if I could add one more thing, I'd like to give an update, if it's okay with the mayor and council, for the Morrow Tour Center. We'd like to show you, we got a little footage of what's going on over there. If you guys, anybody's been over there lately and seen it, we have the tenants over there. We're looking forward to this, and I think this will show you what we're kind of doing. This is what it looked like. And V was kind enough to put together a demo for us. You like a tenant that does tenant improvement. So that's a new stage that they put in, that wall back there, so they're doing some really neat stuff out there for us, and we're looking forward. I believe they're probably about 30 days out from the grand opening, so we'll keep that and do a ribbon cutting and welcome them to the city, for sure.
Sweet. Well, we have until 7:30, so I imagine there's some wonderful coffee right over here to the right side. I hope it hasn't been brewing since 8 o'clock this morning. I hope it's there. About to find out, so we'll see y'all again at 7:30.